Jeff Gundlach last night talking about his views on a recession next year, talking about a 6% yield on the 10-year if we didn't have the Fed involved. You listened to the call from the DoubleLine CEO. What was your takeaway on how Gundlach sees the economy and the market right now?
Right. Well, I like listening to Jeffrey Gundlach's calls, and they're very popular, these webcasts. And one of the things that he's been doing in recent years is he will run through his recession indicators to see if there's one on the horizon. And the headline for me was, well, he does see one on the horizon. Those probabilities have increased. As you were just mentioning, it's up to 65% for a recession in the next year, about 40 to 45% in the next 6 months. And he did run through a number of different indicators. The granddaddy of them, as he likes to call it, is the U.S. Conference Board leading economic indicator, kind of showing just how the conditions have been. They're not negative yet, and they're not indicating a recession, but how those are starting to change. Then the other area is just looking globally at economic data change in the U.S. and Europe and other places, kind of tracking the day-to-day data set with the 12-month moving average, and those are starting to trend lower. They're not showing signs of robust health. And then the other being the U.S. Conference Board consumer expectations, less current situation, which he says is the most important one. Basically, the current views of the economy contrasted with how folks feel about the future of the economy, and that one is where you're seeing signs of trouble. So Jeffrey Gundlach's one of these guys he's really closely followed, nailed the last crisis. He makes big market-moving calls. People do like to pay attention. So,
Did he say anything about the Fed?
He said a lot of things about the Fed.
Like
Here's what he said about the Fed.
Next week.
About Jay Powell about next week. His prediction was he expects a very short statement from Jay Powell, who's in a very difficult position right now, and an even shorter Q&A period. So Brian Chung, get your question in. I don't know. Maybe it'll be longer. Who knows? But that was his quip on the Fed. And he also likes gold right now, guys.
Yeah, there you go.
And he said he favors gold over Bitcoin. Obviously, he's been he's hammered Bitcoin quite a few times on those calls.
Real coin.